Welcome back to the Global World Real-Time channel. For decades, the image of a U.S. aircraft carrier with its deck roaring with F/A-18 Super Hornet fighters has been an unmistakable symbol of American military might across the oceans. But that symbol, a legacy of the 1990s, is aging. And amid a new strategic competition shaping the 21st century, the Pentagon knows it cannot rely on past glories forever. According to an exclusive report just published by Reuters, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has officially given the green light. As early as this week, the Pentagon will make one of the most important decisions of the decade, selecting a contractor to build the Navy's next-generation fighter jet. The project is codenamed FAXX. This is not just a multi-billion-dollar contract. It is the beginning of an aerial revolution, Washington's answer to the most vexing question: how to maintain naval superiority in a rapidly changing world. In today's in-depth analysis, we will dissect the FAXX project from every angle. First, what is the nature of this upgrade? What makes the FAXX different from existing fighter jets? Second, why must the U.S. Navy upgrade at this precise moment when they already have the F-35C? What is the existential threat forcing them to act? Third, how will this decision create geopolitical ripples, impacting strategic competitors like China, Russia, and hotspots like North Korea? And finally, we will answer the question: is the FAXX a gamble to save the future of the American aircraft carrier? Part 1. The FAXX, not just an upgrade, but a revolution. So what exactly is the FAXX? Fundamentally, it is the sixth-generation carrier-based fighter program designed to replace the F/A-18EF Super Hornet fleet, which has been in service since the late 1990s. But to call it a mere replacement is an understatement. The FAXX represents a leap in combat philosophy. Many will ask, the U.S. Navy already has the F-35C, a very modern fifth-generation stealth fighter. Why do they need another new aircraft? This is a crucial question, and the answer lies in two words: range and role. The F-35C is an excellent stealth strike machine, a door kicker capable of penetrating enemy air defenses to deliver precision blows. But it was designed in a different context, with limited operational range. The FAXX is born to solve a completely different problem, the Pacific problem. It is a theater of vast ocean expanses, where distance is the greatest enemy. Therefore, the number one requirement for the FAXX is superior range and endurance. It must be able to fly farther and operate longer in the air than any carrier-based fighter before it. But the truly revolutionary aspect of the FAXX is not the aircraft itself, but how it fights. This will be the first carrier-based fighter designed from the ground up to act as a quarterback or a central brain for a squadron of unmanned aircraft. Imagine a future combat scenario. A manned FAXX flies in the rear, safely outside the range of enemy air defenses. But it will command a swarm of cheaper, collaborative combat aircraft, autonomous drones. Some drones will fly ahead as scouts and sensors. Others will carry tons of missiles, acting as flying arsenals. Still others may perform electronic warfare or act as decoys. The FAX pilot will no longer be a mere aviator, but a battlespace commander, coordinating this entire network. This is the core philosophy of sixth-generation air combat, manned-unmanned teaming. Combined with advanced stealth and next-generation electronics, the FAXX is expected to provide overwhelming superiority. Part 2. The pressure of time. Why now? The decision to accelerate the FAXX at this moment is no coincidence. It stems from immense pressure and a tangible fear: the risk of losing military superiority to its greatest competitor. The first and most urgent reason: China. Analyst Roman Schweizer put it clearly: China is incredibly ambitious. They are not only mass-producing fifth-generation stealth fighters like the J-20 and the carrier-based J-35, but they are also racing to develop their own sixth-generation aircraft. If the U.S. hesitates, by the 2030s, the U.S. Navy could face a catastrophic scenario: its aging Super Hornet fleets being completely outmatched by modern Chinese fighters. Greenlighting the FAXX now is not an act of getting ahead, but an effort to catch up and not be left behind. The second reason, a paradox known as the obsolescence of the aircraft carrier. For years, analysts have debated the death of the aircraft carrier. The advent of anti-ship ballistic missiles, or carrier killers like China's DF-21D and DF-26, has created a massive anti-access area denial A2/AD bubble. These missiles can threaten U.S. carriers from thousands of kilometers away, forcing them to operate further and further from shore. This creates a deadly range problem. Current fighters like the F/A-18 and F-35C do not have sufficient range to take off from a safe distance, fly in to strike a target on the mainland, and then return. The carrier might be safe, but its arm is too short. The FAXX is the solution to this paradox. With its superior range, it is designed to be a long arm, allowing the carrier to project power from a much safer distance. In other words, the FAXX is a gamble to prove that the aircraft carrier is still relevant and effective in the modern warfare environment. Without it, the role of the multi-hundred-billion-dollar carrier fleet would be in serious question. The final reason is internal delays and disputes. As the article noted, the program was delayed for months due to budget disputes between the Pentagon and Congress. Some officials even wanted to delay the program by up to 3 years, but Congress and the Navy understand that any further delay would mean creating a dangerous capability gap in the 2030s. The fact that Congress poured billions of dollars to expedite the program shows that the sense of urgency has reached its peak. They had to act now. Part 3. The geopolitical ripples, a global impact. The decision to build the FAXX, though just an initial announcement, has immediately sent ripples across the global geopolitical chessboard. For China, this is the most direct message. The FAXX is designed with a single goal: to neutralize their A2/AD strategy. The FAXX's stealth, long-range, and unmanned teaming capabilities are intended to penetrate the bubble that Beijing has worked so hard to build. It forces China into an even more expensive and complex arms race, not just in fighters, but also in counter-stealth technology, electronic warfare, and air defense. The aerial race in the Pacific has officially entered a new, more intense phase. For Russia, while the FAXX program is not directly aimed at them, it still has a significant impact. Russia is also developing new-generation fighters and trying to maintain its status as a naval power. The emergence of the FAXX sends a message that U.S. military technology is not standing still. It will complicate Moscow's long-term strategic calculations, especially in areas like the Arctic and the Atlantic, where the two navies frequently interact. Any technology developed for the FAXX will soon be applied to U.S. Air Force aircraft operating in Europe. For hotspots like North Korea, the impact seems less direct but is still very clear. The presence of U.S. carriers operating in the region, such as in the Sea of Japan, equipped with future FAXX squadrons, will raise the level of deterrence to new heights. Pyongyang's already obsolete air defense system will become even more useless against a networked, stealthy, and autonomous fighting force. This increases the cost of any military provocation and further strengthens the defensive shield for U.S. allies, South Korea and Japan. For U.S. allies like Australia and Japan, this program is the strongest reaffirmation of Washington's security commitment to the Indo-Pacific region. It opens opportunities for future technological cooperation and ensures that allied forces will continue to maintain a technological edge for decades to come. Conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the decision made in a quiet Pentagon office this week will not result in a new aircraft immediately. It will take nearly a decade for the first FAXX jets to become operational. The path from the drawing board to the carrier deck will be fraught with technical, budgetary, and supply chain challenges, as the concerns about Boeing and Northrop Grumman have shown. But the echoes of this decision are already being felt in the strategic planning rooms of Beijing, Moscow, and around the world. The FAXX is more than just an aircraft. It is the U.S. Navy's bet on the future of the aircraft carrier. It is the answer to the greatest strategic challenge America faces in the 21st century. And it is the starting gun for an unforgiving race to achieve mastery of the skies of the future. That race has now officially begun.